Brian Shaw, the Clippers' assistant coach, usually treats comparing anyone to Kobe Bryant like stepping on a landmine. He hates doing it. But as one of the rare few who battled alongside the Mamba and coached him too, his opinion carries serious weight. And right now, Shaw is spotting flashes of that legendary greatness in the recent tear of one specific NBA superstar, a guy who has silently dominated the scoring and steals charts since December 20th while pulling the Clippers back from the brink of collapse. We are talking, of course, about the Claw himself, Kawhi Leonard. If I had to draw a parallel to what I saw with Kobe, Shaw admitted to ESPN, it's that relentless focus once they lock in on a target. Shaw has a vault full of stories to prove his point, but one stands out from the early days when he was a veteran riding the end of the Lakers bench. It takes us back to January 7th, 2003, in Seattle, facing off against Gary Payton and the Sonics. "We're at shoot-around," Shaw recalled. A local reporter walks up and tells Kobe, "My daughter loves your game, but she says you're missing one thing, a three-point shot." Kobe stared the guy down and told him to make sure his daughter watched the game. After that, Shaw said, "Kobe didn't leave the court. He just rained down three after three after three from everywhere." That night, Bryant drained a then-record 12 triples, purely to prove a critic wrong. And that brings us right back to Leonard. The motivation might be different than Bryant's spite-fueled explosion 2 decades ago, but the lethal skill and the outcome are identical. The Lakers blew them out by 21 that night, and the Clippers, after a nightmare 6-21 start, have transformed into the hottest ticket in the league. The catalyst? Leonard's sudden and massive evolution from behind the arc. If you're enjoying this breakdown of the Clippers' resurgence, do me a favor, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive. Now, for nearly 2 years, the coaching staff had been begging Leonard to shoot more threes. They knew he loved his mid-range spots, but they also knew the offense would go nuclear if he stepped back. Plus, it would save his body from the constant pounding in the paint. Assistant coach Jeremy Castleberry, known affectionately by Tyronn Lue as the Kawhi Whisperer due to his long history with Leonard dating back to San Antonio, has been in his ear constantly. Finally, in December, with the offense looking like a train wreck and Leonard pushing toward his mid-30s, the conversation shifted. Leonard decided it was time to take over. "I looked at T. Lue and told him, 'I'm putting up 12 threes tonight,'" Leonard said. He asked, "How?" And I just told him, "You'll see." Just like Kobe in Seattle all those years ago, Kawhi stepped onto the floor and delivered exactly what he promised. This season, Leonard is averaging a career-high 7 attempts from deep, but that number has jumped to nearly 9 per game since that December 20th matchup against the Lakers, where he let fly 12 times in a blowout win. As Leonard tells it, he finally gave in to the coaches because the team was drowning and they needed a lifeline. It was time to try something radical. "We were dug into a hole," Leonard explained. "I analyzed what we needed, and I figured this was it. If I start launching threes, even if I miss, it gives everyone else the green light to shoot without fear." Once he committed to the perimeter, the Clippers' offense unlocked instantly. Before that date, they were ranked 23rd in the league. Since the switch, Leonard is drilling over 43% of his triples. That gravity pulls defenders out, leaving the lane wide open for his teammates to slash and cut. The Clippers now boast the second best offense in the NBA, scoring nearly 8 more points per 100 possessions, going 16-3 in their last 19 games. It's also a smart business move for his longevity. Leonard's career has been a roller coaster of elite dominance and devastating injuries. "Ty has been preaching this since I got here, get Kawhi easier looks so he isn't grinding for every single bucket," Shaw noted. He already had the discipline and the routine. Now, Kawhi has fully embraced the 3-ball, working on it daily with Jeremy. The focus is terrifying. When Leonard is this healthy and locked in, the ceiling for the Clippers goes through the roof. It highlights why the team went all in on him in 2019 and why the injuries have been so heartbreaking, because we see these flashes of pure brilliance. Since arriving in 2019, the Clippers win over 66% of their games when Leonard plays. When he sits, that drops to 49%. "I've been here 5 seasons, Shaw said. "I truly believe we could have won a title by now if he and the rest of the squad had just stayed healthy." That is the riddle of Kawhi Leonard, one of the generation's best when active, but a roll of the dice every single night. James Harden, who occupies the locker right next to Leonard, is starting to think he gets Kawhi better than anyone. That doesn't mean they're best friends hanging out on weekends. Neither has even visited the other's home in Los Angeles. "I'm still trying to crack the code, man," Harden joked to ESPN. But on the court, Harden feels a connection. "Sharing that locker space, I think I unlocked the best in him," Harden said. "Honestly, I might be getting more out of him than anyone else has in his entire career. Coach Lue gives credit to both stars for digging the team out of their early slump. According to the stats, out of 146 duos with at least 700 minutes together, the Harden-Leonard pairing ranks 8th in offensive rating and 4th among anyone not playing for Denver. From what Harden has observed, Leonard's life is entirely engineered to conserve energy for the court, ensuring that whatever fuel he has left is burned during meaningful playoff minutes. He avoids sugar like the plague and eats pristine. During last year's playoffs, he went viral for removing Gatorade bottles placed in front of him at a press conference. "Kids don't need to be drinking that stuff," he muttered. Back in October, he hosted 30 local high schoolers at the Intuit Dome for a mindfulness session involving yoga and sound baths. "Do this every day," Leonard instructed the teenagers while holding a yoga pose, "and those aches and pains will disappear." It sounds simple, but you can tell Leonard desperately believes or hopes it's the key to keeping his own body intact. Most guys wouldn't have the mental strength to keep rehabbing the way he has. They would have quit, Harden said, but he just keeps grinding. While praising his teammates' grit, Harden glanced at Leonard's locker. On the top shelf sat 6 bottles of fancy water. We're talking about Holstein, premium alkaline water from the Austrian Alps. A 6-pack of this stuff costs $71. "Best water on earth," Leonard told ESPN with a straight face. "Naturally alkaline, no processing, and it's in glass so you aren't drinking plastic chemicals." This obsession with alkaline water isn't new. He's been doing it since his Spurs days. He even likes drinking it hot with a splash of lime juice. "I learn something new about him every day," Harden laughed. "I don't know if he's trying to be mysterious. I think that's just him. Some people just live off the grid and prefer it that way." If there is one truth in a career filled with stoppages, it's this. Nobody questions Kawhi's work ethic. He will do anything from yoga to drinking $70 Austrian water to stay on the floor. He loves the game, Harden added. He works his tail off just so he can keep playing. And so far, it's working. Since that December 20th game, Leonard holds the #1 net rating among all players with over 500 minutes logged. The only question left, as it always is with the Clippers, is whether they can keep this magic alive until June. Before you go, don't forget to hit subscribe for more NBA updates.